Oh shit, my mic was off. Yeah, I'm watching this shit because why not? I'm just gonna give my thoughts on this. But here we go.
If I ask you who the legendary Super Saiyan is, I'm sure I'd get a lot of answers, but not all of them are actually right. That isn't your fault, though. Dragon Ball is a convoluted series in a lot of ways, due to the multiple continuities that have existed basically since the first anime adaptation began. So let's go through everyone who is or isn't the legendary Super Saiyan. I'll even make a little chart to keep track of them. What better place to start than the very first Super Saiyan who we hear about very vaguely in the original manga,
Yeah, in the original manga, before Super Saiyan God was a fucking thing. It's part of the reason why I hate Super. It fucking ruins the original, takes away from the original, or just flat out contradicts the original. But what do you think he's gonna do? He's gonna bring Dragon Ball Super into this, so let's get this going.
Super Saiyan was one that struck fear into the universe, often described as a legendary warrior of the Saiyan race who had no equal. This legend was so well known that even the Grand Elder of the Namekians knew of it, and in hindsight, it was likely written in the Namekian Book of Legends like the Super Saiyan God ritual. The Super Saiyan was said to be a merciless warrior that had an insatiable battle lust, but
yes, back when Saiyans were fucking warriors, not Kryptonians.
this was the legend passed down by the Saiyans. The truth about the original Super Saiyan is something that we wouldn't learn until decades later. You see, Toriyama did an interview answering questions about Super Saiyans, and one asked if the original Super Saiyan God and the original Super Saiyan were the same person. I'm going to...
Yeah, you know, it was bullshit, because if you actually watched the Brawly movie, they was talking about the Super Saiyan of Legend, and then they said the Super Saiyan God as well. So it was both of them. So apparently there was two different people, and now we're saying that this person's the same person.
Focus on the Super Saiyan portion of this interview since it's the most relevant to what's being discussed, and I already have a video covering Super Saiyan God. Toriyama tells us the first Super Saiyan was named Yamoshi, and
oh yeah, I also hate the fact that this character's name is Yamoshi, because I legit have a character named Yomomoshi. Not even joking. That's another thing. It's from... Fuck it. Let me show you. I'm gonna go to my my Mega account, because I have old art of this character, right? And he's actually a person who uses fire, like, to fight. That's just what he does. Can I log in? Oh, so it just logs in. All right, so I got a bunch of fucking old ass damn art, old comic books, old, you know, old shit. This is the character. Well, actually, you know, here's another one. Here's him flinging fire. It's back in 2015, was it? Yeah, the character existed before that, but this is an old 2015 sketch of him. Right, I got several characters. And, wow, that is a small ass fucking picture. That is a small ass picture. What the fuck? Can I get a bigger one? Pause. Can I zoom in? All right, so I have several different characters. This is him in color. Brown hair. It actually flips to the side when you look at him in the front, but look at him from the front, excuse me. But it's actually the silhouette to my background for my music channel. All right, I got, you know, plenty of characters from my comic book. But the fact that this guy's name is Yamoshi is too damn close to the name that I had. It's kind of annoying, all right? Of course, they were like, well, great minds think alike. I don't know. This is cutting it close. I'm not saying he's copying me, but the coincidence pisses me the fuck off.
He rebelled against the evil Saiyans that were shaping a negative future for the Saiyans as a whole.
Yeah, fuck this backstory too. Saiyans, a ruthless warrior race that went about, you know, taking over planets, conquering planets, pillaging, plundering, genocide, etc. The Saiyans were not good people. But we got this one guy right here he was a hero, and these Saiyans were making a bad future, and we had to gather, you know, 6 other, was it 6 or 5 other pure-hearted Saiyans, and they got together and did a fucking ritual. So instead of genetics, hard work, training, stress and anger, you know, and pressure and a need to reach this level and beyond, instead of that shit, we have fucking holding hands, and you get a damn red recolor and you become super lean for no damn reason.
Eventually, Yamoshi was cornered by the opposing Saiyans, possibly.
Oh yeah, and Super Saiyan God also has a fire aura, which also pisses me the fuck off. That's nothing new though. Don't get me wrong. But if there's the last thing I need more of is people accusing me of copying Dragon Ball. I've already was trying to beat the allegations. Now, if I put my book out now or release new chapters, you know, I gotta redraw my old shit. I gotta redraw a bunch of shit. But I continue with this, I'm gonna have to beat more allegations.
Seeing his comrades die in front of him, and in his desperation, he became the very first Super Saiyan. Yamoshi went on to battle all the evil Saiyans on his own, but ultimately his stamina and the transformation ran out, leading to his death and the legend of the Super Saiyan being born.
How the fuck, but Goku's stamina didn't go, whatever.
What's interesting here is Yamoshi is described as a malicious Saiyan, filled with an unquenchable battle lust, but that's due to the perspective of the Saiyans that survived.
No. It was because Saiyans were actually ruthless warriors. Super fucked that shit up. That's what happened.
By the victors, and the evil Saiyans that won saw Yamoshi as a legendary Super Saiyan. And even more specifically, he is the legendary Super Saiyan. So the next Saiyan to talk about is obviously Goku, the first Super Saiyan in 1,000 years or something like that. The 1,000 years part of the legend seems to be tacked on randomly at some point by the Saiyans, since it doesn't actually matter for the transformation. In the Frieza saga, the entire arc was building up to who would be the Super Saiyan, and it turns out, much like Yamoshi, Goku was fighting an evil regime and saw his comrade die, leading to his transformation. This should be obvious, but yes, Goku is a legendary Super Saiyan, and again, you can even argue he's the legendary Super Saiyan for the modern age. The only reason people don't believe this is because of things we'll talk about later. I just want you.
Yeah, they had a literal whole ass movie about the actual legendary Super Saiyan Broly, which fits. Once every 1,000 years, a Saiyan like this is born. Since, you know, we had a whole bunch of Super Saiyans, we needed something to stand out. Broly. That's who stands out. He was the apex predator when it came to Super Saiyans. And they fucked him up too.
You to think about it though. Would the Frieza Saga's story make any sense if Goku didn't fulfill the legend of the Super Saiyan that was built up throughout the entire arc? Of course, other characters go on to achieve this legendary transformation as well, and that makes sense, since unlike Yamoshi, who died after unlocking the form, Goku was around, so others could see and understand how he pulled it off.
Yeah, because the way Yamoshi died doesn't make any damn sense. Because you could either, before all this shit, he was the quote unquote Super Saiyan God, and he got the power through the ritual. Now he saw a comrade die, he got regular Super Saiyan, and then his energy ran out or his stamina went low, and then he got killed when his stamina went low. What the fuck is his real backstory? Like, where was Goku's stamina drainage? And you can't say, well, it's main character plot. Well, where was everyone else's stamina? I'm good. I'm not finna fucking keep doing this shit.
Legendary Super Saiyan transformation would be some one-of-a-kind thing, but that's actually not necessary. Something the Saiyans used to think of as unobtainable or exclusive in the past turns out to just be something they feared because they didn't understand it.
That gave me a
This
headache.
even happened in the real world. Mythology and legends made things like the weather and natural disasters far more than they actually are. So Vegeta, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks are all legendary Super Saiyans. In the Buu Saga, Vegeta's even baffled by Trunks and Goten accessing Super Saiyan so easily because it's the form of a legendary warrior. So
it's not even because of the form of the legendary warrior, it's because the fact that they went through serious trial, stress, and tribulations just to even be able to unlock the shit, and it was done by fucking accident. And once Goku figured it out, he had to train his son Gohan, who apparently has the highest potential, which is bullshit. But okay, he trained his son Gohan to learn how to use this transformation, and he described it as a need, not a want. And then we got these kids doing it. That's why Vegeta was fucking shocked. It wasn't just because it was a legend. Once they figured out how to do it, they figured out how to do it. The Saiyans back then didn't know how to do it. That was it. I'd argue that they still haven't reached the power level to do so. Like Bardock, he was fighting off Frieza's army and everything, but those weren't his top dogs. Those weren't his highest level men. And then he proceeded to get one-shotted before unlocking anything. And then you can also argue that Saiyans, because their ruthless nature, really wasn't attached to anybody in the way that Goku was attached. Vegeta unlocked it through self-hatred. I'm not even gonna fucking lie. That's the way Vegeta unlocked it. And if anybody is like, and Vegeta obviously is a reflection of the Saiyan race, who were very prideful and full of themselves. Vegeta had to be broken down to a very low state before he transformed. So yeah, nah, bro. Like, that by itself explains why they didn't get damn transformation. But whatever.
While you may also want the form to be some exclusive thing in order for it to be legendary, the story is showing how the change in the Saiyans that survived has led to more Super Saiyans existing because of their views and greater understanding. I think,
and all four of those characters went through some fucked up shit. Everybody that Trunks knows is dead, except for his mother, and then she later died too.
It's safe to put these characters in a tier below legendary Super Saiyan, not quite achieving its legendary status by fulfilling the legend, but also not too far off either, since they do have the transformation.
So wait, are we arguing who's the actual legendary Super Saiyan, or are we just arguing who fits the criteria for it to be technically legendary? Because by that logic, anybody after Goku doesn't fit the criteria. But Broly would still fit the criteria because his form is completely unique from everybody else's.
Contrast to this, we have the recurring non-canon Dragon Ball Z movie villain, Broly.
Well, I argue that Broly is more canon than any of this new bullshit. Nothing in the Broly movie contradicts Z at all. So what the fuck, aside from, oh, when it takes place. But you can argue that shit for Super.
Broly is, in his non-canon movies, the legendary Super Saiyan. The transformation that Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and future Trunks use is nothing but a pale imitation of Broly's true legendary form, and I hate this. Toriyama subverts our expectations.
This the shit. This was the shit.
Who or what the Super Saiyan is by having a vague legend be used to fuel multiple characters like Vegeta or Captain Ginyu's misunderstanding of it, until Goku ultimately fulfills the legend himself and shares a better understanding of what it is now that he's accessed it.
Or maybe he just thought he did it. We can play that game with this too.
That's the point of the famous Son Goku speech. The Dragon Ball Z.
No, that speech was fucking Whatever,
Broly
man.
movies basically say, no, that misconstrued legend was right. Broly actually fulfills the legend, and the conclusion of the story on Namek is worth undermining, just so this guy with big muscles can rampage across the galaxies, I guess.
Yes, and he was whooping that ass. He was beating that ass, bro. I want to watch the movie again. Shit. I want to watch the movie. Fucking drug Gohan shit. Show you what real potential look like, little nigga. Grab this shit. Fucking one hand through that motherfucker. Listen. Listen. All right. When it comes to this shit, right? And we're discussing like legendary Super Saiyan and everything else. Goku, the legendary Super Saiyan, he's still technically a legendary Super Saiyan. He was the one who avenged the entire Saiyan race. It was him who did that shit. Now, Broly could be the legendary Super Saiyan specifically because of his genetics and the fact that he is the one born out of every 1,000 years to be just that damn powerful and to have a form completely unique on his own. That's not bad at all. I actually like that shit. I like that concept. You have these guys who thought that they were the legend, thought that they reached the legend, and then the real legend shows up and is staring them in the face, and they don't have the power to fight the shit off. Like, that's way better to me. That would explain why the Saiyans feared the shit. Hell, King Vegeta feared him and tried to get him killed before, he could even realize his true potential. Whatever, man. I love the fucking first Broly movie, bro. Like that new bullshit Dragon Ball Super Broly. Fuck out of here with that shit.
Even worse, you get the Supplemental Daisenshu, a guidebook that had to tie up the loose ends from Dragon Ball's anime continuity at the time, making the Super Saiyan types to try and make sense of what Goku and the others are when compared to Broly.
I never heard of this shit. I mean, fuck, they already said that Super Saiyan 2, drains stamina, even though if you watch the original show and fucking read the manga, Super Saiyan 2 is supposed to be the natural successor to Super Saiyan 1 with no downsides. But they said, no, fuck that. There's a bunch of downsides, which is why they never use it in Dragon Ball Super. And people to this day still think that Super Saiyan 3 is the worst form when they didn't even fucking pay attention. The only reason why Goku struggled using that shit in the Buu saga was because his physical body couldn't handle it. What I mean by that, he unlocked the form as a dead man. And every bit of training he did with the form was as a dead man. So when they gave him his live body back, which never experienced Super Saiyan 3, it was different. It was weird, and he didn't know what to do with it. It's just that simple. He was even questioning why his ki was draining so much, because it never happened before. That's a whole nother conversation.
Clear, the Super Saiyan types have never been canon, and still aren't canon, no matter how much the Dragon Ball Wiki tries to shoehorn them in to fit modern material.
Well, I mean, that's how I feel about Super. You shoehorning that bullshit in to try to make original Z make sense with this random ass Yamoshi character. But all right.
Entirely to explain anime.
Like, the shit sound nothing like any of the other Saiyans either. Like their names was based off vegetables. Broly, broccoli, radish, Bardock. Well, which one was Bardock again? I forgot what Bardock's was. I almost said Brussels sprouts, but I don't think that was it. But then you have fucking Vegeta, which is just vegetable. And then Yamoshi, what is that supposed to be? Like Goku's name, Kakarot, is just carrot. Like, come on, man.
Specifically movie exclusive content. Anyway, ignoring my opinions on it narratively, in his own continuity, Dragon Ball Z Broly is the legendary Super Saiyan. There's no denying that, but he isn't canon, so it doesn't mean much of anything. Let's just put him in a non-canon legendary Super Saiyan tier.
Wow. The hate. The The fucking hate.
Speaking of things that aren't canon, we have the episode of Bardock, a sequel to the Bardock special that tells the story of what happened after Bardock got engulfed in Frieza's blast. No.
Well, here's the funny thing. The Bardock special got retconned with the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. Excuse me, introduced Goku's mama, and I never gave a shit about her. So, yeah, we have that too.
Of course he didn't die. He got sent to the past, where he protects Planet Plant, the planet that would one day become Planet Vegeta before the Saiyans even arrived on it.
That was what I never seen his movie.
Bardock becomes a Super Saiyan and defeats Chilled, an ancestor of Frieza who passes down a warning to his family to beware the Super Saiyan. At least this is actually the right transformation, but much like Broly...
What do you mean the right transformation? It's just Goku.
This is a non-canon continuity, so within its own continuity, Bardock is the legendary Super Saiyan. But obviously, this story conflicts with the modern story of Yamoshi, so just like Z Broly...
Man, his modern story conflicts with his modern story. Whatever.
This isn't canon, so who the fuck cares? Here's a fun one to think about, though. Cell. The first question is Cell even a Super Saiyan? The anime gives him an aura that closely resembles the auras of Super Saiyans like Goku, Vegeta, and...
I mean, you gotta make that content. I understand. You gotta get that fucking money. So you gotta extend this shit.
But that's anime only. He clearly uses what seems to be Super Saiyan Grade 3 as a way to mock Trunks, but you could argue that Cell is just doing what Master Roshi can do. I think that's a bit of a stretch though. First, he doesn't have Master Roshi's DNA. People forget this, but Cell is only made up of 5 characters: Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Frieza, and King Cold. So who's he getting it from? Second, Cell's form also sacrifices speed for power, just like Grade 3, as shown when he tries it against Gohan. But we've never heard of Roshi having that same issue. And finally, when Cell becomes Super Perfect Cell, he claims his power-up was just like Gohan's, and he has an aura that's exactly like Super Saiyan 2 in both the anime and the manga.
And he still lost that being struggle.
Super Saiyan before this. At this point, there's going to be 2 groups of people watching right now. People who think Cell is a Super Saiyan, and people who think Cell isn't a Super Saiyan. If you don't think that Cell's a Super Saiyan at all, then the answer is easy. He isn't a legendary Super Saiyan.
He's not a Saiyan unless you're going by like a 1-drop rule or some shit. He's not a Super Saiyan. Oh yeah, and if you really want to think about it, since he has Frieza cells now, and considering that Frieza was able to get so damn powerful after only 4 months of fucking training, Cell should have won against Gohan. Since we want to make Dragon Ball Super canon now, Cell should have won against Gohan. And Frieza should have been way more powerful when he came back to Earth. Goku, none of them niggas should have won that shit. Since we want to make Super canon.
Is a Super Saiyan though, things become a little bit more complicated. I think for a lot of people the answer is still no, and I'd agree he wouldn't be ranked alongside characters like Goku or Yamoshi, but what about Vegeta, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks? I feel like if Cell is actually a Super Saiyan, he'd be classified alongside these characters. To be fair though, he is very different from them, so I'll put him a bit below them on this chart.
He ain't got no business being on the damn chart.
Also, very briefly want to touch on the original Super Saiyan God. This is the unnamed Saiyan that was mentioned in Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. Due to Toriyama and Dragon Ball Super retconning the existence of an original Super Saiyan God in canon, this character should be treated the way we treat Dragon Ball Z Broly and...
That was Yamoshi. Oh man, this shit is all over the place.
Episode of Bardock, a non-canon, legend-fulfilling character. I think the answer here is pretty cut and dry though. There's nothing connecting him to the legendary Super Saiyan, so we shouldn't either. He's just the non-canon original Super Saiyan God.
When was he not canon? Super went as far as remaking the entire fucking movie. So when was he not canon? They even mentioned this nigga in fucking Super Broly.
Also think it's worth mentioning the Universe 6 Saiyans. While technically Kaba and Caulifla can both transform into Super Saiyans, it's important to note the Universe 6 Saiyans just don't have a Super Saiyan legend, so does this even count? You can
Nah, they became the legend. All they had to do was throw their back out and they became the legend.
know what you think in the comments before I give my opinion on them, but I assume you're more interested in Kale, who's
No.
unique for quite a few reasons.
No, I'm not.
The first is her similarities
No,
to
this is just Broly if he transitioned. That's literally all it is.
Ball Z Broly, and that makes sense since she was designed by Toei specifically to be like Broly due to his popularity. But no,
Fucking Kale. Literally Kale, whatever.
notably, she isn't called the legendary Super Saiyan. Before you comment, what about when Vegeta says she is? Hear me out. That's just not what Vegeta says. I don't know what marketing team at Funimation translated this because he actually says that might be the Saiyan's true form.
Which was the legendary Super Saiyan. Look, man, because they said the same shit about Super Saiyan 4, and people were questioning if Super Saiyan 4 was actually the legendary Super Saiyan. Like, we've been doing this shit for years before Super became a thing. It's very clear. And it's like, well, this could be the Saiyan's original form. Well, what was the original form? This character mimics Broly in every single way, and Broly was seen as the Saiyan of legend. So what the fuck was Toei gonna say? They called this shit out. This is Girl Broly. Like, they unironically just called the shit out for what it was.
As notable translator Herms pointed out at the time, due to the vagueness, Vegeta could be saying that all Saiyans used to be like Kale, or this is Kale's own true form. Both don't actually say anything about her legendary status, but to be fair, the Dragon Ball Super manga does. In contrast to Universe 7's legendary Super Saiyan, who's mainly feared due to him killing evil Saiyans before his own untimely death.
That didn't exist. Oh, whatever.
Power running out, Universe 6 has a legendary Saiyan. This demon Saiyan appears every 1,000 years and goes on a rampage with ever-increasing power until eventually that power leads to their own destruction. Kale is clearly and directly stated to be this Saiyan and is even shown to be destroying her own body with her power.
Yeah, she's fucking Broly.
Super Saiyan Berserker, the official name for the form Kale uses in the Dragon Ball.
Berserker Saiyan. Oh my gosh. We got 4 more minutes. All right,
Super
fuck it.
Anime is very
Or 3 more
aesthetically
minutes.
different from its manga counterpart, so it's more than likely that these are actually just different forms. With all that said,
I mean, they're different continuities. It's 2 different fucking stories. That's why I say Super ain't fucking canon.
That's the legend in Universe 6, which likely means that Kaba and Caulifla aren't legendary in any way. Which, funny enough,
No, they're not. Shit. Do they look legendary? They need to hit the gym.
Makes none of them legendary Super Saiyans in any capacity, so we'll put Kaba and Caulifla in not legendary Super Saiyans, and we'll put Kale in her own wrong legend category. Finally,
Wrong
we're back
legend. It's
to
just
Broly,
Broly's
specifically
legend.
Dragon Ball Super's version of him, and I kind of get the confusion here due to him being a reimagining of a non-canon character, but much like Kale, another Dragon Ball Super version of Broly, he isn't actually the legendary Super Saiyan. The big piece of evidence people point to is this line from a scientist early in the movie saying that Broly might be the Super Saiyan of legend, but that doesn't matter. The Saiyans knew very little about the Super Saiyan, as I've already established, and this is more than likely a fun nod to Dragon Ball Z Broly rather than anything serious. If we took it seriously, every time someone was called a Super Saiyan, Goku and Vegeta would have been Super Saiyans way earlier. Hell, even
And they would have got the ass kicked.
Gohan gets called a Super Saiyan in the Saiyan saga before Toriyama actually fleshed out the concept. What is serious though is Paragus' reaction to Vegeta's transformation into a Super Saiyan. In the subtitles, he says, like the legend, and in Japanese, he explicitly uses the same phrasing as would be used for the legendary Super Saiyan name. This
They said like the legend. Doesn't mean he is the legend. It is what it
was
is.
written by Toriyama, don't forget, so reminding us of what the Super Saiyan of legend is was done intentionally. Broly does transform eventually, but much like Kale, these aren't legendary Super Saiyan forms. This first form is Ikari, also known as Wrathful, a form that allows the user to use the power of an Ozaru without the moon or the cumbersome body size. This
Wow, they're like Super Saiyan 4 or something. So here's my question, right? Because Broly using his Ozaru power was able to just shit on Super Saiyan Blue Goku before he even got his power to an even further level. But for some odd fucking reason, Goku as a Super Saiyan 4 where he has absolute full control over his Uzaru power. In Dragon Ball Heroes, at best, can only fight off a fucking Super Saiyan Blue level opponent. What the fuck is that all about? By that logic, Super Saiyan 4 should be shitting on anybody of that level. As a matter of fact, he should be fucking like competing with Ultra Instinct. I'm just gonna be blunt. Or surpassing it. Especially with all the hacks that you see Super Saiyan 4 Goku get in GT, and the fact that his senses, actually, hell, Ultra Instinct ain't the first to fucking do the shit. That's why I hate the damn form in the first place, because Goku was dodging shit on instinct without the need to think or feel ki back in GT. I don't know. I'm just rambling, man, but that is something I like to point out.
Saiyan form though, so it's not worth discussing any further. The next form is just called Super Saiyan, but it's different because it's stacked on top of his Ikari form. While this form—
oh my gosh, your Super Saiyan stacked on top. That is a form that was unique to fucking Broly, man. Before they like, if Kale didn't have Broly powers and he kept it unique to Broly, he'd still be the Saiyan of legend because nobody else has the shit that he has. But they had to give it to Kale because they had to. The Berserker Rage Saiyan, the fucking, we're like, man, whatever, man, fuck this shit.
It's just called Super Saiyan. There's likely an annoying reason for that. Future Trunks over here decided to take the name Super Saiyan Ikari for himself before fucking off to a different timeline that he's already in. As far as Toriyama—
man, what is with this Ikari Rage bullshit? Whatever.
and even the DBS manga are concerned, those are his two forms. But Toei added in Super Saiyan Full Power. This green-haired form is reminiscent of Dragon Ball Z Broly,
because that's Broly's form.
What it actually is a more refined mix of Super Saiyan and Ikari. Like I said, this form—
so Super Saiyan and Rage, like, what the this is why I say Super's all over the damn place. Trunks has his own Ikari form. Why wasn't his hair green? It was a more refined mix. Fuck off. He's just a regular Super Saiyan, but look at him. Got both Super Saiyan Blues by the fucking face. Yeah, to all you God Key motherfuckers out here. Oh, they don't have God Key, so they can't compete. Shut up. Every time we talk about Dragon Ball GT versus Super, well, GT Goku don't have God Ki, and that shit never fucking mattered. This is Goku and Vegeta right now getting whooped on. He got them by the face like they some kids. This is embarrassing, nigga. This is fucking embarrassing.
Doesn't even exist in the manga, and with Broly controlling his Super Saiyan form in the latest Dragon Ball Super manga chapter, I don't think we'll see
I don't want a fucking. They ruined Broly. They ruined Broly.
Ever again. Needless to say, Dragon Ball Super Broly isn't the legendary Super Saiyan, but now that he has some access to the form of the Super Saiyan of legend, I'd put him with Vegeta and the Half Saiyans. So the final ranking—
so he's more legendary than the original actual legendary Super Saiyan?
Are Goku and Yamoshi as the canon legendary Super Saiyans?
No, fuck this nigga, because his story, he has two different fucking stories and none of them make no damn sense. I'm just gonna be blunt. At best, you had Goku or Broly being the legendary Super Saiyans, which is crazy because if you're going by what a regular Z fan would have seen back in the day, we was watching the anime, Goku was the legendary Super Saiyan, so we thought, until they actually met the real legend. And it was oh my gosh. Yeah, you know, when you have an imitation, it's nothing like the real thing. That's essentially what the Broly movie was showing you. These are imitation Saiyans. They're powerful, but they ain't doing the shit Broly doing. He laughed as he put his knee in their chest. When he was stomping Goku out and cackling, yeah, that's the real legend. Putting them 10 boots in your chest. I'm good with this, bro.
Vegeta, Gohan,
I'm good on
Goten,
this.
Trunks, Broly, and Cell are canon legendary-ish Super Saiyans.
Broly and Cell ain't got no business being in this fucking list.
With Cell
And
at the
then we
bottom
go
of
to
that
the
list for
bullshit
sure. Bardock
where he completely ignores Broly, puts up fucking Bardock shit, which makes no damn sense. And then we got Kale actually being a fucking legend. What is this? And I'm sick of this talk about canon, because all the stipulations that y'all use to make, you know, shit like Brawly, the Z Brawly, and all these other movies and shit non-canon, y'all make GT non-canon. But then when we use those same, you know, stipulations and put it on Dragon Ball Super to show you that Super doesn't fucking line up, everybody wants to fucking argue. Why do you like Super so much over everything else? It's literally the worst show out of the entire Dragon Ball lineup. Whatever, I'm done ranting and rambling. Check this guy out if you ever get a chance.